Imagine standing at your father's graveside, tears mixing with the cold mountain air, only to get a frantic call. Bulldozers are tearing down your dream home right that second, and the HOA president is filming it like a twisted viral video. That's the nightmare that hit me, Ezra Thornfield, turning my grief into a slow-burning fury that would dismantle an entire corrupt empire. But oh, the sweet irony. The woman who thought she ruled our neighborhood like a petty queen ended up exposed as the ultimate fraud, her rules crumbling faster than my hand-built fireplace under those steel tracks. I never asked for the spotlight in Pine Ridge Estates, that picturesque Colorado mountain community where every home looked like it belonged in a real estate brochure. All manicured lawns, identical mailboxes, and a suffocating veil of standards that choked the life out of anyone who dared to be different. 52. Semi-retired structural engineer. I'd poured my soul into building my haven after losing my wife Sarah to cancer. 3 acres of timber frame bliss. Floor-to-ceiling windows framing eagle-soaring sunrises. A wraparound deck whispering with pine-scented winds. Solar panels humming efficiently. Rainwater collectors gurgling sustainably, and an organic garden bursting with native wildflowers and veggies that actually belonged in this ecosystem. I'd researched it all, down to the last pollinator-friendly bloom, because unlike the cookie-cutter crowd, I believed in living with the land, not against it. But whispers started early. Neighbors gossiped that I was that eccentric widower, turning his yard into a weed-infested eyesore, spreading rumors I was some antisocial hermit dodging community spirit. I heard the snide comments at the mailbox. Ezra's probably growing something illegal in those tomatoes. But I bit my tongue, observing quietly, sipping my morning coffee from a handmade mug while noting who spread the bile. Little did they know, my engineer's mind was already cataloging patterns, waiting for the right moment to strike back with facts, not fury. Enter Priscilla Hawthorne, the HOA president, a 47-year-old failed city council wannabe who traded her real estate developer dreams for micromanaging our lives like it was her divine right. Picture her, cruising in a spotless white Tesla, iPad glued to her French manicured claws, blonde bob defying gravity, always spouting community values, with a smile that screamed passive-aggressive control freak. Her sidekick, cousin Bucky Grimes, the enforcement officer, an ex-mall cop with delusions of SWAT grandeur, tooling around in a golf cart rigged with a fake siren light, snapping dawn patrol photos like he was busting international spies. Watching Bucky waddle up driveways with his measuring tape was pure comedy gold, if it weren't so pathetically tyrannical. The first jab came via certified mail on a crisp Tuesday morning, the kind where the mountain mist still clung to the pines. $500 fine for unauthorized landscaping. It read, Priscilla's prim signature at the bottom like a royal decree. My crime? Ditching thirsty Kentucky bluegrass for native wildflowers that saved water and fed the bees. Dear Mr. Thornfield, the letter oozed in that faux-polite tone. Your property exhibits weeds inconsistent with our harmonious standards. Remove immediately and install approved turf. I chuckled darkly over my coffee. Harmonious? This from the woman whose standards forced everyone into water-guzzling lawns in a drought-prone state. But I stayed silent publicly, requesting a hearing instead, arming myself with data. Native plants cut water use by 60%, boosted wildlife, and hiked property values 8 to 12%. At the meeting, Priscilla barely glanced up from her iPad. Rules are rules, Ezra. Weeds are weeds. She doubled the fine to $1,000 without batting an eyelash, her voice dripping with that sanctimonious, for the greater good vibe that made my blood simmer. That's when the patterns emerged, like cracks in a faulty foundation. Elderly Mrs. Jenkins got slapped with $800 for a non-compliant mailbox shade. Heaven forbid it be eggshell instead of ivory. A young family faced foreclosure threats over their kids' sidewalk chalk art. Deemed graffiti. Whispers in the community grew. Retired teacher MS. Hargrove confided how Bucky measured her petunias with a ruler, muttering about height violations like a deranged botanist. Vietnam vet Mr. Rivers grumbled about fines for parking his truck at a deviant angle in his own driveway. And young mom Lily Brooks shivered recounting Bucky tailing her to the supermarket, snapping pics through her car window of her toddler's car seats, just ensuring family compliance, he'd smirked. The steam from my mug turned bitter. This wasn't paradise. It was a suburban dictatorship disguised as neighborly order. But engineers like me, we don't rage blindly. We dissect, document, design countermeasures. Priscilla had no idea she'd poked a bear who read legalese for bedtime stories. Digging into the original HOA covenants at the county clerk's office felt like unearthing buried treasure, heavy paper, official stamps, real law versus Priscilla's invented nonsense. Buried in Section 12, decorative landscaping with seasonal plants permitted. Wildflowers, seasonal as hell. Game on. But Priscilla escalated quicker than a summer storm, slapping a cease and desist on my veggie garden. Unsightly agricultural blight, she claimed, threatening $200 daily fines. Bucky had photographed my tomatoes with that ruler, treating cherry heirlooms like WMDs. I dove deeper. Those covenants confirmed veggies as seasonal plants. Botanically, tomatoes are fruits. Legally, they were my aesthetic rebellion. The irony? Using plant science to dismantle her petty empire. Board meeting night. Priscilla perched at the head like a judge in a kangaroo court. Power suit screaming, "I'm in charge, Mr. Thornfield's farm plot attracts vermin and tanks values," she declared, trotting out her expert, her stylist's boyfriend, Marvin, who'd binged one raccoon doc on TV. Gardens bring critters and junk, he stuttered from note cards. My counter? Dr. Elena Greenfield, legit CSU biologist with decades in ecosystems. Native gardens raise values 8 to 12%. Conserve water. Support buyers' green demands, she testified crisply. Priscilla's face ripened like my forbidden tomatoes. Covenants allow seasonal plants, I added calmly. Unless you're claiming veggies aren't plants? Silence hit like a thunderclap. Even Marvin froze. Neighbors nodded subtly. MS. Hargrove jotted notes. Mr. Rivers thumbs upped. Lily smiled tentatively. But Priscilla? We'll inspect your property twice weekly, she snapped. Bucky grinning like he'd won a medal. Oh, the hilarity of her thinking that would break me. Harassment ramped up like a bad sitcom plot. Notices for my doormat being 3 inches misaligned. Christmas lights up 2 days past the 45-day holiday decor limit. My truck parked at 17 degrees instead of the sacred 20. Bucky's golf cart beeped at 6 a.m. Like a demented rooster, camera clicking from every angle. One dawn, I caught him measuring my mailbox gap twice, different tapes each time. Morning, Bucky. Spot any felonious spacing? I called sweetly. He scurried off like a busted thief. Selective enforcement screamed invalidity under Colorado law, same as corporate contracts I'd shredded in my career. I photographed every neighbor's violations. Mismatched doormats galore, lights lingering, trucks at wonky angles. No fines for them, just me. Meanwhile, my garden thrived, heirloom scents wafting, peas crunching fresh, as Bucky lurked at the fence like a sad voyeur. Neighbors whispered envy. "Those tomatoes look divine," Lily murmured at the store. "Share any time," I replied, slipping her seeds. Priscilla's iron fist relied on fear-isolated folks. But veggies? They bonded us primal style. 3 families eyed gardens. MS. Hargrove dug covenant history. Mr. Rivers shared his fine logs. A secret chat bloomed. Pine Ridge Rebels. 19 strong and swelling. Bucky amped surveillance. But shifts happened. Eye contact returned. Chats lengthened. Priscilla's error? Turning me into a martyr. Forging a community from her control-freak ashes. My dad's wisdom echoed. Strongest builds start with solid bases. Time to probe Pine Ridge's rotten core. Next salvo, my solar panels, labeled Industrial Eyesore, via 2022 amendments, demanding $15,000 removal or foreclosure. Panels that slashed my bills $200 monthly, weathering blizzards like champs. Fishy? I dissected those amendments, passed by 3 voters at a 6 a.m. Christmas Eve meeting? Who votes pre-dawn amid eggnog? Number 30-day notice. Quorum at 6% versus required 25%. Invalid as hell. Filed complaint with State Board. Rallied 23 signatures. MS. Hargrove sleuthing? Priscilla held shares in a roofing firm hating solar competition. Bucky's in-law ran turf is threatened by my natives. Undisclosed conflicts, suburban graft at its finest. Twist over coffee. Anonymous code violation complaint on my solar. Inspector Frank arrived. Hands calloused. No BS vibe. Let me guess. HOA beef? How'd you know? 3rd this month. Personal vendettas masked as safety. He inspected 2 hours. Textbook perfect. Better than commercial. Signed commendation. Priscilla's desperation peaked at her supporters-only emergency meeting. We crashed with 12 neighbors as she pushed solar bans. Board only, she yelped. Statutes say public notice for assessments. I countered. Phone out. Lily piped. Explain these dangers, Mr. Rivers. Mine's fine 3 years. Voices rose for transparency. Her steamroll failed sans quorum. We knew the rules now. Post-meeting. Frank whispered. Complaint filed same day your prez visited my office. Fishing for dirt. Patterns clarified. Coordinated smears. Evenings stretched with neighbor tales under golden solar glow. More fake inspections revealed. Corruption clustered. Time to unearth Priscilla's hidden webs. She targeted my rainwater next. Mosquito haven. Health hazard. $500 daily fines. Health department complaint filed. Bucky binocular spied my setup like a drug bust. But Colorado law greenlit rainwater since 2016. HOAs couldn't ban conservation. Inspector Martinez expected slime. Found pro-filtration. UV. Pumps. Model sustainability, he praised. Breakthrough. Photographing her rentals showed identical systems. Installed sans approval post-mine. Selective much? Crashed her exclusive meeting with poster prints. Board only, voice quavering. Funny, I laid photos. Your rentals have the same setups. Board gawked. She stammered predate lies. Records proved otherwise. Mr. Rivers. Smells selective. Bucky intensified. Parking in drives. Window peeping interiors. Tailing shoppers. Cross to stalking Lily, police reported kid pics at bus stops. MS. Hargrove snapped his lurking. Chat hit 31. Shared conflicts. Patterns. Click of Bucky's shutter grated like nails. But coalition solidified. Vandalism hit. Garden hoses slashed. Panels egged. Caught a maintenance guy on cam, who spilled Priscilla's orders for disruptions. More. Fake utility cutoffs plotted. We lawyered up with Helena Voss. Pro bono firebrand. Class action brewed. Fraud. Harassment. Priscilla erratic. 2-hour notice meetings. Retro fees for her defense. Lawyers fled citing ethics. Third bolted. Bucky ghosted post-questioning. Fled to Wyoming federal flight charge. Backfire more evidence. Media caught wind. HOA Bulldozes during funeral? Denver Post viral. National rights groups piled in. TV interviews. Doc filmmakers. Priscilla oblivious to workers' utility conspiracy proof. Town hall loomed. 200 attending. Commissioners hosting boundary fraud reveal. Sheriff security after threats. Businesses donated to funds. Engineering truth. Rebuild faulty systems wholesale. Nuclear strike. Priscilla invoked emergency powers for home demo during dad's funeral. No permits. Timed via Bucky's spy. Bulldozers rolled as I graveside mourned. Daughter Sage called hysterical. Raced back. Mr. Rivers vets blocked with trucks. Flags waving. Police found zero authority. Contractor spilled Priscilla's $23,000 personal check. Recorded calls. Conspiracy nailed. Cover-up flop. Contractor error. But records lied not. Bucky warrant issued. Media exploded. Headlines. Shares. Support surged. Priscilla fled airport ward. Tesla ditched. Phoenix flight. Federal fugitive. Home search. Embezzlement docs. Forged boundaries. Retaliation plans. Bucky cracked. Confessing timelines. Vandalism. Surveillance. Her bankrupt plot revealed. Rally packed center. Commissioners condemned. Suit ballooned to $2.3 million. All residents in. Discovery 30-year fraud forgeries. Transfers. Bias targeting. Deleted emails recovered. Graph deep. Warm community hugs trumped her chill boardrooms. Bucky's confession. Kid pics. Tales. Fake complaints. Civil rights breaches. Position ironclad. Conspiracy. Fraud. Federals. Accounts frozen. Licenses yanked. Dissolution hearing. Packed. Media frenzy. Helena mapped illegal expansions. 24 properties never under HOA. $340,000 illicit fees funneled to Priscilla's biz. Testimonies. Jenkins' mailbox woes. Lily's scared kids. Rivers silencing. Bombshells. Number 1994 filing. Forged consents. Bucky read aloud. Priscilla appeared. Attorney quitting mid-recess over evidence. Self-rep flop. Reporters grilled embezzlement, silent on cam. 23 testified fears. Commissioners dissolved unanimously. Covenants void. Refunds ordered. Applause roared. Hugs flowed. Priscilla arrested lot side. Bucky jailed 6 months. $50,000 each punitive. Audit. Extra $180,000. Total recovery $1.2 million. Task force probed statewide. Reform laws cited us. 6 months on. Values up 15%. No HOA buyers flocked. My garden. Eco pilgrimage. CSU featured. Potlucks rotated. Tool library birthed. Vets aided elders voluntarily. Refunds funded playgrounds. Trails. Priscilla's auction. Furniture sold for victims. Cosmic hilarity. Bucky reformed via service. Apologized door to door. Workshop became teen makerspace. Daughter returned. Ripples. Mag features. 200 inquiries. Reforms passed. Doc premiered to ovations. Legacy. Conservation scholarship. Workshops, no approvals needed. Priscilla. 18 months federal. $340,000 restitution. Licenses revoked multi-state. HOA banned forever. Pine Ridge model voluntary coup. Crime down 40%. Tourism up. Bullies thrive on fear. Research and unity crush them. Destroy broken. Build authentic. Wildflowers bloomed free. So, was the HOA the real eyesore all along? Or do strict rules ever justify turning neighbors into enemies? Drop your take below. Who's the true villain in these suburban sagas?